Good morning to you all. Today, I will be taking one chapter of your macroeconomics book called as National Income and Related Aggregates. With this, I will be also dealing with your fourth chapter about methods of measuring national income later. Regarding these two chapters are, that is chapter 3 and chapter 4 are related chapters. Okay. I will say chapter 3 is more of theoretical in nature, whereas chapter 4 is more of application based. These two are very important chapter of your macroeconomics and also from the examination point of view, because every year you will be getting questions from this chapter. Okay, so the first one that I'm going to teach you is from chapter 3, National Income and Related Aggregates chapter. And the first topic in this chapter is about national income. Now let us see what is the meaning of this national income concept. It is the sum total of factor incomes earned by normal resident of a country during the period of an accounting year. Okay. Now, this meaning is not a complete one, but for the time being, I will be using this much only. Okay. Later, I will be adding some stuffs in it. Okay. Okay. Now see here, from this meaning, we have to make two important note. Okay. The first one will be factor incomes, right? And the second one will be normal resident of a country. Now these two things are very important in this national income concept. We say national income includes factor incomes as well as normal resident of a country. Now what we have to do is, we have to understand the meaning of factor income and normal resident. First one, what is this factor income? Now, this one is the payments made by the producer or producing units to household for rendering their factor services is called as factor income. So what is this factor income? See, factor income are the payments made by the producer to whom? To the household for rendering their factor services. Now a bit more about this factor income. Under this one, the first one will be, this factor incomes can be also called as factor payments. Okay? Factor payments are made by the producer and factor incomes are received by the household. Got it? Okay. Factor payments made by the producer, and factor income is what? Income that is received by the household. Now, you must have studied about factors of production. Factors of production in your lower class, right? What are the factors of production? We have studied about land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship, right? These are the 4 factors of production. And these are owned by household. We say household has all these 4 factors of production. They are called as the owners of the factors of production, right? Now, what the producer does? Producer hire or purchase. Okay, hire or purchase. Most often they will hire these 4 factors of production from household to be used in the process of production. Okay, now what the household is doing here? Household is rendering these factor services to the producer. Okay, in return, they get or they received an income, and that income is called as factor income. Got it? Okay. Now, next one will be the classification of factor income. Now, I said household. They are receiving factor incomes from producer, right? Now, we have to see about the factor incomes. So, next one will be the classification of factor income. Now, here, I will write down the 4 factors of production: land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur. Right? So these are the 4 factors of production. Now, factor payment is what? Producer is making payment for these 4 factors of production to the household. Right? Now see, for land, household gets income in the form of rent. This is a price which is paid for making use of land. For labor, they get wages, right? Okay, so here in bracket, I will write compensation of employees. Compensation of employees. Now see here, but for the time being, here I will be using only wages. This compensation of employees are received by the labor. Compensation, it is a very comprehensive term. Okay, it includes not only wages, but all the other facilities that a worker, that a labor gets. Okay, so more of this you will study in next chapter. Okay. For the time being, I will be using wages only here. So for making use of labor, producer is paying wages. Capital, household capital. Okay. Which are used by the producer in the process of production. For that, the income they pay is in the form of interest. Okay? And producer is also using household entrepreneur skills. And for that, they pay income in the form of profit. Got it? Okay. Now see here. Rent, wages, interest, profit. These four are the factor incomes received by the household from producer. Is that clear? So this is four factors of production, and this one is the factor income received by the household for rendering these services to the producer. Is that clear? Okay. Now, factor incomes is an earned income. It is an earned income. Right? Usually income we classify into two. One is earned income and another one is unearned income. Now earned income, right? This is earned income. Why we call this income as earned income? Because obviously household is rendering such services to the producer, and for this services they are earning income in the form of this one. So this is called as earned income. Okay. Now this is about factor incomes. With related to this concept, we have transfer incomes. We have transfer income. Now what is this transfer income? What is the difference between these two? I said this one is earned income and this one is unearned income. Okay. In this, I'll give you some examples. Say, for example, gifts, donation, charity, etc. These are unearned income, right? Okay. These are paid freely. Got it? Okay. Now, in the estimation of national income, when we are estimating national income, only factor incomes are taken into consideration, not the transfer incomes. This is one very important observation that you have to make note of it. Okay. In national income estimation, only earned income will be included, whereas unearned income will not be included. Right? Okay. So this is a description on factor incomes. Now, next part, and this meaning is the concept normal resident of a country. Now, See here, normal resident of a country. Again, this one is very important concept, okay, from your examination point of view. Need to pay more attention to it. Now we will go into the meaning of this normal resident of a country. Who is called as the normal resident of a country? Now, to call anybody to be the normal resident of a country, he or she must and should follow two conditions, okay? Or we can also say rule. Conditions or rule. The first one will be that person must and should ordinarily resides in the country concerned, and second one is whose center of economic interest lies in that country. Interest lies in that country. These are the two rules or condition to be followed to be called as normal resident of a country. Now, normal resident of a country, it includes not only persons, but also it can be an institutions. Okay. Now see here meaning. What is this normal resident of a country? Or who is called as normal resident of a country? So are those person or institutions who ordinarily resides in the country concerned and whose center of economic interest lies in that country. Now, we will see these two conditions in detail. The first one is, what do you mean by ordinarily residing in the country? When we are saying ordinarily residing in the country, it means that person is residing in the country for the period of 1 year or exceeding 1 year. Exceeding 1 year. I repeat, ordinarily residing in the country, it means that person is residing in the country for 1 year or exceeding 1 year. Not necessarily he has to be the citizen of that country. Okay, one thing. Second one is, whose center of economic interest lies in that country. Now, what does it mean? It means that when we are talking about center of economic interest, it means that person is performing his economic activities in the same countries. Then that person is deemed to be the normal resident of a country. That person will be called as the normal resident of a country. Got it? So I repeat, these two are the conditions, okay, rules that has to be followed to call any person as normal resident of a country. Got it? Okay. Now, we have to see what is included in this normal resident of a country and what is excluded from it. So when we will be studying about what is included in this, again, these two meanings or these two conditions will become more clear to you. Now, we'll go into what is included in normal resident of a country. It includes number 1, citizen of a country. See, what is included in this normal resident of a country? Number 1 is citizen of a country. Okay. Who is residing in the country? Period is given 1 year or more, exceeding 1 year, as well as and his or her economic interest lies in the same country. So that person will be called as normal resident of a country. Okay. So again, citizen of a country, residing in the country. Say for example, I will take up Indian. Okay. Living in India 1 year or more than 1 year. And also his economic interest. That means he is performing his economic activities in his own country. Then that citizen will come under, or we can say that citizen will be the normal resident of India. Okay? This one. Second one is citizen of other nation. Okay, citizen of other nation. Now in this, I'll take up one example here. Very simple example. Indian. We will take this. Okay, Indian living in USA. For period 1 year or exceeding 1 year. And his economic interest also lies in the same country, that is USA. Then what will happen? Now this Indian will be the normal resident of this country, even if he continues to be the citizen of India. See here, this is very important. Okay, what I'm saying is, a person having citizen of one country can become normal resident of another country. So see here, second point, citizen of other nation. So we have taken here example, Indian living in USA for period 1 year or exceeding 1 year, or we can say staying there, and he is performing all his economic activities in USA. Then he is a citizen of India, but he will be also called as normal resident of USA. Got it? Okay. Now third one is organizations. Okay. Organizations. Now here organizations we refer to as international organization. We have to take here international organizations. Okay? Now, if any international organization is located in a country, say for example, international organization, we have IMF, World Bank, right? These are international organizations. If it is located in India, okay, will this organization becomes the normal resident of India? No. Okay. This international organization will become non-resident of India. Got it? But if an Indian's working in such organizations which is located in India, okay, then what will happen? See, we have to follow those two conditions, right? So Indians working in such organization in India, which is located in India, then this Indians is staying in India for period 1 year or exceeding 1 year. He will stay in India, right? As well as his economic interest, his center of economic interest lies in the same countries, right? Then this person is the normal resident of India. Got it? Clear? Okay. Now again, under this one, I'll give you some examples. Okay. So that it becomes easier for you to understand. Got it? Okay. Now second example of this one. See here. A foreigners working in World Bank office located in India. Right? Now will he or will this foreigner becomes the normal resident of India? No, right? Why? See here two conditions. The first one is he has to stay in India for the period 1 year or exceeding 1 year. And second one is what? His economic interest must lies in India. Okay. Now under this one, I said this foreigners will not become the normal resident of India. Why? Because even if he is fulfilling one condition. See here, this institution, organization, international organization is located in India. And if he is working in this organization, he must be staying in India for more than 1 year, right? But his economic interest will not lie in India. His economic interest will lie in the country from where he belongs to. So got it? Okay. So he will not be considered as normal resident of India. He is the non-resident of India. Third example, see here. Indian working in Asian Development Bank in Japan. Okay, so see here, this is located in Japan. Who is working? Indian. Okay, now this Indian, will he become the normal resident of India? Yes. So we need to say the reason, right? How he will become the normal resident of India. Condition again. Even if this man is working in this country, okay, but his economic interest will lie in his own country. Okay? Got it? Two conditions I said. Second condition, he is fulfilling this one. Second condition, Now see here, I said again, even if he's not staying in India, he's staying in Japan, working there, okay, but his economic interest lies in his country. So, this Indian is the normal resident of India. Got it? Okay. Now, fourth one we have. Citizens of a country. Citizens of a country who is living abroad or who are living abroad for a period of not exceeding 1 year and whose economic interest lies in their home country, then this citizen will be the normal resident of the country to where they belong. Got it? What I'm saying here, citizens of a country, any country, who is living in abroad, not for the period of exceeding 1 year or 1 year, and whose economic interest lies in their home country, then that citizen will become the normal resident of the country to which they belong. Okay? Next one is, we have to take border workers, laborers. Now see here what they do. Border workers. Border workers who crosses the border daily. Okay. Who crosses the border daily, regularly, to work in the other country, and then comes back, then will he or she becomes the normal resident of India? If we take the example of India, okay, will this border workers will become the normal resident of India? Yes. Even if he is working in another country, but he stays in his own country, right? Got it? So what I want to say here is, see here, a border workers who crosses the border daily, regularly to work in another country and then comes back. Okay? So he belongs to his home country, right? Say for example, India. He belongs to India. He lives in India. His center of economic interest lies in India. So, border workers will become normal resident of India. Then the last one will be officials. We have diplomats, we have, and members of armed forces we have. These are a few examples. Okay, officials, officers, diplomats are the officer who are representing their own country. Okay, and armed forces, all these people are the normal resident of the country to which they belong. Got it? Okay, even if these people stays in one country for the period exceeding 1 year or 1 year, but their economic interest lies in their home country. So these people will become the normal resident of their home country. Is that clear to you? Okay. So this is just some examples of what is included in normal resident of a country. Okay, now we will see what are the things excluded from normal resident of a country. So we can say normal resident of a country does not include these people. Okay, the first one will be foreigners. We will take an example of India. Foreigners visiting any other places apart from India for different purpose. Say for example, holiday purpose, conference, for studies, for sports activities, for medical treatment, etc. These people will not be the normal resident of, say for example, India. Okay, these people will not become the normal resident of India. Now see here, one thing we have to observe here. I'll take up only one example in this. What is this? Foreigners coming to India for studies purpose. And they're staying in India for this purpose exceeding 1 year, right? Some of them stays in India for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, like this. Even if they are staying in India for period exceeding 1 year, they are not called as normal resident of India. Got it? Because, why? Because these people, foreigners, their economic interest lies in their home country, not in India. Is that clear? Okay. Second one is, we have same thing, officials, diplomats, and military personnel, staff. These people are also treated as non-resident of India. Here I'm taking the example of India, okay, India country. So these people are also considered as non-resident of India, even if they stays in India for more than 1 year or more. Is that clear? Then, third one, international organization. I said international organizations. So international organizations located in India. So this international organization will become non-resident of India, which I have said before with example. And the fourth one will be crew members of foreign vessels. Crew members of foreign vessels. So again, crew members. Crew members are a group of people who works where? See, vessels. Vessels, here it refers to a large boat and it belongs to foreign, right? So crew members of foreign vessels, the members which are working in this foreign vessels, are again not to be treated as normal resident of India. Is that clear? Reason why they are not treated as normal resident of India? Because their economic activity or their economic interest lies in their own country. Even if these people will be staying in India for period 1 year or exceeding 1 year. Is that clear? Okay. So like this, with many examples, I have shown here about the normal resident of a country as well as non-resident of a country by taking example of India as a country in some cases. Right? Now, we are done with, okay, factor incomes, meaning as well as normal resident. Hope the things are clear to you. Now, we will come back to it again. See here, what is the meaning of national income? So, it is the sum total of factor incomes. Okay, so total of factor incomes. Who is earning it? By the normal resident of a country during the period of an accounting year. Okay, which year? Accounting year. So, accounting year is usually 1 year. In India, it starts from 1st April to 31st of March. So, in this period, we have to see the sum total of factor incomes earned by normal resident of a country. And that will be called as national income. Fine? Now, for your exercise, okay, just kind of practice to understand this concept, normal resident of a country, better. I'll give you a few questions that you have to do. Right? See here, I've given you one question. Should these be treated as normal resident of India? Okay, so this comprises of 3 another questions here. Now try to solve it. Try to find the answers for it. Okay, so you need to understand the theoretical portion of it first. Okay, that too very clearly, and think about it.